This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
How long have you been in theater?
Oh gosh, since a couple of decades since late 90s. so a good 20 plus years.
Late night. Oh, you started very, very young.
Yeah.
See, like that.
I know, right? I was 5.
You like that?
Yeah, I did Annie. That's what happened. That was my first professional. No, it wasn't.
But what was your first play?
When I was in high school, my very, very first musical was Little Shop of Horrors. And I did that with California Youth Theater when I was like 16, something like that. And then I started getting into theater actually in school because that was an outside program. And then I started doing some musicals in school and stuff like that.
Did you seek it or did it find you?
Growing up, so my family is very musical. Both my parents loved to sing, so I loved singing growing up. Very Filipino, it's very typical, right?
Yeah, the magic mic.
Of course. I think my dad had like the Manny Pacquiao magic mic, like years later, but he did have it. But yeah, we had the even before the magic mic, we had the multiplex.
Left and right. -1.
Yeah, my dad would go to the Philippines and then come back with all these cassette tapes.
That was in a nice case, right?
Yeah, Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson. Oh my gosh.
With a nice booklet.
Yes, with the booklet with the lyrics. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. So yeah, I grew up singing. My sister sang. We would harmonize all the time. And but when I was when you're in elementary school and you're trying out for the school play or the school musical, like they would have reading, like they would have speaking parts and singing parts.
Yeah.
And anytime I auditioned for a speaking part, I would stumble over my words. I would stutter. I'd hiccup, and the teachers would be like, you can just sing, just because I was like good with singing, but I was terrible with words. And so I always just grew up thinking like, oh, I'm a singer, but I can't read anything. I can't actually be an actor. And then when I was in high school, I took a drama class, and then I started doing both. I started acting, and I loved it. I love telling stories. I love exploring characters and playing different parts and then singing as well. So I would kind of go back and forth.
And your parents were okay with the extracurricular activities?
They were. I mean, they were very supportive. My mom, even though she was very musical, my lolo was a big band leader in the Philippines.
What? Really? Wow.
Yeah, and he played clarinet, he played violin. So she grew up with a very musical father, and she was very musical. She was the glee club leader. She was the conductress. She loved to sing. She played guitar. But then she became a nurse. So for her, it was like that was a hobby, right? And then she became a nurse as her career. And then my aunts and uncles, they would say, "Oh, that's a good hobby, but but you should be a nurse."
Are you a nurse?
Oh, I play a nurse on TV. That's what I do now.
Yeah.
I play nurses. I play doctors. But yeah. So, it was something where they were just like, oh, she'll grow up. Maybe she'll grow out of it. Or But my dad was. He was like, you have a gift. You should do something with it.
Oh, Dad was there to say that.
Yeah, he was.